Hi everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card using our Large Florals Daisy Layering Stamp Set. I'm going to stamp the 3-layer petals using our Ruby Collection layering inks. So the first ink was our Rose Quartz dye ink. And the way that you're going to layer these petals up is just line up the bottom curvy edge of the petals. And this set is very easy to line up because all you need to do is line up that bottom edge for each petal layer. So once I stamp the second layer in our soft garnet dye ink, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that third last layer of the petals with our red sangria hybrid ink. Next, I'll stamp the daisy centers. This is also a 3-step portion of this video. You're going to stamp this portion first, and I stamped it in our found Topaz. Then this is the more solid outer ring, and I'll stamp this in our warm hazelnut dye ink. Then you have the dark brown center, and you just stamp this right in the center, and I used our dark roast dye ink, and our layer daisy is complete. All we need to do is stamp a trio of leaves using our crystal pewter dye ink and smoky quartz dye ink. Also, the leaves are very easy to layer as well because you just have to line up the edges. There are no wonky layers in this stamp set. So once I've got everything stamped out, I'm just going to die cut everything using their coordinating dies. I just laid the dies cut side down onto my stamped images, taped them down with some thermal web purple tape, and then I ran my stamped panel through my die cutting machine. Next, I'm going to stamp my background panel using our fresh linen background stamp with our crystal pewter dye ink, and I use my Baron tool to apply some nice firm even pressure to get a crisp impression. And this is a great subtle background that I like to use for a lot of my florals. Now I'm going to take this label from our modern labels and I'm going to stamp it with our Noir dye ink onto some regular white cardstock, and then I'm going to fussy cut it out. I chose this label from our modern labels set because I thought that the curvy edges of this shape really complemented the curvy petals of my stamped daisy. So design-wise, they just really complemented each other really nicely, and I'm so happy with the results. So this is how I'm going to format my card, but before I stick anything down, I stamped my Love You sentiment with our Noir dye ink, and then I took the largest die from our double stitch rectangle small die collection, and I just cut this out of regular cardstock, and I'm using that outer border because I just want a nice thin frame on my card panel, and then that inner negative piece I'll just use for a future project. Once I've popped up this thin frame onto my fresh linen background, I'm going to start assembling my card by popping the label and the daisy onto my panel using some foam tape. For the label, I used a single layer of foam tape, but for the daisy, I use a double layer of foam tape for the top portion. So we have a lot of dimension going on because you have the daisy and the label. Both are popped up, but the daisy is just elevated a tiny bit more. So now I'm just going to start popping up and inserting my daisy leaves, and then lastly I'll add our glass slippers sequins. And I added a trio of them at the bottom left hand corner and the top right hand corner, and this way you have a nice flow going from the bottom left to the top right. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's project and video. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it on a weekly basis. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.